Alright, hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, this is going to be covering all things, basically legendary essences, and I've seen a lot of new players kind of ask for this. How this whole thing works. We're just going to break it down a bit at a time here. So, your main thing you're going to want to do, and this applies to, everybody, once you unlock Westmarch, this is your main hub for everything in the game, okay? And since we're talking about legendaries, you have to talk about Zamina, the Essence Transfer Lady. Now, granted, there are these in every one of the main camps in every zone, but this is where you're going to be basically going to for the most part. All right.
Let us forge.
Okay, we go straight to Essence Transfer. This is where everything is broken down. I'm going to go ahead and pick a different class, however, since I unlocked everything. I want to show an example here really quick. These will tell you what difficulties these are to drop. So if you're looking for a specific legendary, you've seen them somewhere in, YouTube videos or what have you, or in-game, and you're like, man, I really want that essence for my class. Where do I get that from? Well, there's certain ones that drop at certain difficulties, so you will have to work your way up to that in order to add them into your legendary drop random pool. At that point it will just grow that much bigger over time. You're gonna want to, starting out, farm up as many of these starting legendaries that you can, however, early on, and there's about 12 or so a piece for each piece of gear: head, shoulders, chest, pants, main hand, offhand. And then later, of course, later on, you will have 2 main hands and 2 offhands, and then it gets to a whole nother ball of wax. But for right now, for the purpose of this video, I'm just kind of covering this really quickly so we can get an idea and a feel for how all this works. Alright, as you acquire legendaries randomly in doing various activities in the game, because you can get them in any mode at any time, you will come here, turn them in, or if you need them, obviously wear it. Keep them on you until you get like something better, and then you will come here and have it extracted. You will extract the essence, which is what the piece of gear particularly does here, and you will put it into this. And then over the course of time, you will build up a mastery rank of maximum of 4 here when you get duplicates of essences that you already have, and so on and so on, and it'll just make your gear that much stronger. Okay, so hopefully that breaks it down. And you will also unlock what is called the loyalty bonus over time over here as well. This is the only way to get a specific legendary that you really must have, really want. All right, you will unlock the loyalty bonus at some point or another. It takes 400 loyalty points in order to get one in particular. Now, I already have all the ones for wizard on my main here, but I will pick a different class really quick just to show an example of how this works. I'm breaking this all down, obviously. So here we go. I will just say, oh, I want this one. I don't have this one, so I'll just go ahead and go to loyalty bonus and go to, go to here. Let's just go to here. And obviously I'm going to go all the way to the bottom because it's the best one, the most recent ones that you can, or however down far that you can get. If you're trying to plan this out ahead of time, you'll only be able to select so many. But since I am at the difficulty of maximum difficulty, I can pick any of these, so I'm just going to go like that. All right, so there it is. Now I can collect this if I really want, which I just did. And there we go. Okay, that's how the loyalty bonus works. I probably should have picked something different. I didn't mean to do that, but well, here we go. Anyway, there's that. That's how that works. That's how the loyalty bonus comes into effect. And there you go. All right, that's how you get a specific legendary that you're really after. Now, you may say, well, okay, that takes a long time to build up, which it does. Each time you extract a piece of gear, an additional essence that you already have, you will gain 1 loyalty point. There is a chance to get 5 loyalty points instead, or even a smaller chance to get 25 loyalty points, which it's very rare, but it does happen. All right. The problem with this is we can easily get 100 pieces of legendary gear in a week. It's not that difficult. The problem here lies with you can only obtain loyalty points from a maximum of 100 pieces of legendary gear in a week, which Each time you do, you're getting either 1, 5, or 25 points per extraction. However, it's very easy to cap that, and you need 400 points, which is a pain. It really, really honestly is. So this will take a lot of time to rebuild up again. And I think that needs to be removed across the board for everybody involved, okay? So now, let's go ahead and start talking about the first and foremost, a guarantee. A guaranteed legendary drop. How to get one in general at all, every day, with the bestiary. You go to your codex, we'll look at bestiary here. You get monster orbs. You need to turn in monster essences for this to happen. Okay, I don't have currently any on me to show, but they're a little yellow globe kind of thing. You'll see them in the open world. You'll see them in hidden lairs. They drop everywhere except in dungeons, which I think they should have put them in dungeons at this point by now too. But they drop everywhere in the game except dungeons and except dungeons and Elder Rifts. Everywhere else and every other activity, they pretty much drop open world wise, that kind of thing. So you'll get them from running around doing bounties, but the main key point to take away from here is you get 10 of them. You come over here to the bestiary. It will tell you when you get 10. If you get a little notification. Come over here, turn it in. You will guarantee get a legendary for the day on your first turn in. After that, it's kind of randomized whenever you get another stack of 10, but you can turn them in 3 times a day. You can keep turning them in even after that, but you won't get any new pages in your book, but that's really not all that important. What is important is obviously turning them in for a chance to get legendaries. Again, though, this is the only one in-game that I know of that is a guarantee. So that's basically what you really want to aim for if you're hunting legendaries early on in the game each day, is getting that. Now, the other ways of getting a higher chance of, getting guaranteed legendaries is raids. You run raids every Monday and Thursday. Any way possible, try to get into any groups that you can. Especially if you're just starting out, it's going to be very, very difficult because most people are pushing into the higher difficulties, and it will be much harder to get a full group of 8. You really do want to try for that, though, because you get 2 large chests at the end with a full group of 8 running. Now, if you can't get one, try calling out in all the various chats in the game. That's the only thing I can suggest as far as that goes. Now, there's another thing here that still works, and I'm going to go ahead and show what to look for, and that is Lassle. Lassle's got the lowest combat rating, and there is a trick here that you can do and spam him after you get in your main reward chests. After this, if you really want to start hunting for legendaries, you go, and this is still an option. It's kind of boring for some, yes, but I just at least want to put this in here as an option that you can do from Westmarch without having to go anywhere. Why Lassle? Because they have the lowest combat rating required, and you can pretty much burn it down over the course of your gameplay over time. It'll be easier and easier to do very, very fast. And why you want this to be very fast is, I'll show you right now, what you're going to be looking for. Okay, so here we are. After a couple runs of Lassle, this is what you're going to be looking for, is this red portal. Alright? That's why you want to spam Lassle, because he's the quickest and easiest to take out and get this chance for this to proc. Now, upon getting this red portal, other Heliquary bosses will show up, and then you just take them out, and we hope for a chest at the end that will give us a chance. A chance. This is not, unfortunately, a guarantee, but this is a greater chance of it anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and run through these. All these will be very low level and very easy to clean up. Except for that one, because he decides to spawn clones. Alright, so that's what that looks like when it happens. Now you get a chest at the end here. Let's see what happens now. And of course, in the video I do not get one. I did not get a legendary that time, which is unfortunate. It doesn't happen every time, which is why this is kind of a hit or miss. And if you're really, really wanting to go for it and you have the time, You know, you can run through this as many times as you can. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, there's what it looks like and what to look for. But again, of course, RNG is RNG, and I didn't get one at all that time, so that's unfortunate. But that's what you look for, and that's what you can attempt to try as another option. Alright. Now, of course, the main thing that I do on a daily basis is basically just run Quickfinder for random dungeons over and over and over and over and over again. Because you're going to be wanting to farm up wisps and set pieces. Once you get to a certain level, that's all you're going to be looking for crafting purposes and whatnot. And yeah, along the way, you have chances, of course, of getting legendaries just by doing dungeons, and that's what I usually prefer doing. As you can, I'll show you here in my mailbox, because I am saving all of these, because these are all level 500 paragons, which I cannot use yet. I'm pre-farming these and have been for quite a while. Also, what I have sitting in here, though, is some legendaries as well from the dungeon runs. Alright, so then I'm going to wait to identify these until later. Or I have extra essences stored up in case they're trash, which most times they will be for a bit, because I have a bunch of triple stat rolls on mine. So it's going to take a lot to swap mine out, even though they are the next difficulty above requirements. Alright, but I have all these sitting in here right now, just waiting to claim. Until I get a little bit closer, which I'm only at 480, 20 Paragon out now from 500. That's the plan and everything else. But all right, so there we go. Oh boy, hopefully that breaks it down so you get a full understanding. I know I kind of rambled on a bit at the beginning, but again, this is for mostly beginners that are arriving here, having all the questions. I'm trying to cover all the bases as best I could with this, what to look out for. Again, the main guarantee is the bestiary turn-in of the 10 monster orbs per day. You will get a guaranteed legendary right out the gate. Other options here to follow this up is we have Yakin over here if you have the gold. However, for newer players, I would suggest against this until much, much later on, because you will need as much gold as possible to do your gear upgrades. So this is kind of a holding off, but I'll put it in here nonetheless. If you want to, you can try gambling here and only go down to 15. Like I'll show you right now. I have plenty of gold on my main here. Do not touch these two down below. These are a waste for everybody. This will not get you any legendary gear at all. This is a belt and this is a neck, finger, or wrist piece. So these are definitely not worth touching at all. Just stay with the top two and only do it down to 15, because this amount per gamble, as you can see here, is very high, especially for a newer player. But it will increase dramatically 150% after you get down to 15. So once you do it 10 times, stop on these two if you have the gold again. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway, because I'm gonna try and see if I can get any at all, which probably not. Again, see, there's the 150% date purchase, but on that it'll give you a message letting you know. There we go. Okay, I got one. There you see. And let's go ahead and go down to 15 on this one too. And that's it. Yep. And that's where I stop.
I think you might have gotten the better end of that one.
Not really, Yakin. You only gave me one, so I really didn't make out that as well as you say. But anyway, there's that option as well in town. So raids and dungeons and the bestiary turn-ins is pretty much your bread and butter in the game for the majority over the course of the game. You can do the open world farm and parties, but that's pretty brain melting, I feel personally myself. I've never really done that. People stand in certain spots and AFK they can AFK farm. They'll put their character on, you know, auto attack if they can. Granted, the Chinese servers are the ones that do that specifically, more so than anywhere else. Global doesn't have that built in yet. I don't know if it will or not. It's kind of funky how they treat those in two different kind of aspects, but whatever. Again, global for most of us, it's not an option. But there are, of course, some people that just, especially necromancers, will go and you will see them just camping certain spots, and that's all they do. And it works to a point, but I feel like that's just pretty much a brain dead way of doing it, and it's not ultimately all that fruitful. You're better off just running dungeons, raids, and do the monster or bestiary turn-ins again. So anyway, until next time, everybody. Hopefully that breaks it down for you. I try to be as very detailed as possible on this. I know I might have rehashed a lot of points over and over again, but I wanted to make it absolutely clear for anybody, of course, newer players mostly just starting out with this. Most of us already know the drill by now, but I tried to cover as best I could from a new player standpoint, and hopefully making that clear. Anyway, until next time, see ya.